Hello everybody and welcome back into the C Kappa Invitationals. We are here with the upper bracket round number 2, our first best of 3 series of the entire tournament, and it should be a damn good one, folks, as we're here with Signature Dota 2, aka Sig.Trust versus G7 in a best of 3 series on moonducktv. Hello everybody, of course. Good morning to those of you on the East Coast, and in fact all around America if you're watching from the US, and of course those of you across the world, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody watching out there in Dota land. So, my name is Mont. We're here today to watch a best of 3 series between two pretty damn good teams. G7, obviously a team that I think a lot of people didn't expect to get to this point at the very beginnings of this tournament. They had some pretty darn good play up against a squad called Mineski, which you might have heard of, and they were able to pass through them and get to this second round of the upper bracket. But Sig.Trust, no surprises, they're able to make it through. And they are a team that has been around forever. You don't really need to talk about Sig.Trust or what they're capable of. They are a damn good squad. There's a lot of players on that squad that have been around forever in the SEA scene. MyPro, Boombell, Lakelz often comes to mind. Lakelz, one of the better or best carry players in the SEA region. And really, he's just an all-around solid player. And he's going to be the one drafting and picking for Sig Dota 2 as well. This is our second series of the day. The first went off with a couple of hitches, which is unfortunate. The VOD will probably not work. I didn't have it saved or recorded to my hard drive because such things I thought were not going to be necessary. But there were some issues coming with, of course, the stream and Twitch and delay server for Twitch. So the ingest server was having a bit of issues, and because of that, I wasn't able to actually record or get the game. Although it was a very quick one, so I'm not sure if anyone really wanted to see it. But still, that is going to be the beginnings of our next series, which is Sig Dota 2 versus G7. Earth Spirit and Doom, the first two picked for Signature.Trust, and then Tidehunter picked first for G7, which is it's a lot of interesting picks. First of all, I don't know if you pick Doom first. I don't think it gets banned in almost any situation. I'm not even sure if you pick Tide first. I think both of those heroes are good. I just don't know if they're really first pick material. The bans were kind of interesting. The Nature's Prophet, Low Druid, not really a surprise there for Signature.Trust up against G7. And then G7 go ahead and ban out the IO as well as the Void. Two pretty damn solid heroes. An offlaner that is extraordinarily hard to kill, and he can often put pressure on lanes and get good chronospheres off and make the game just miserable. So they'll take him out of the pool almost immediately. Now we should note that G7 won their last series, won their last best of 1 with a safe lane farming Medusa, off lane Batrider, and mid lane Broodmother, up against Mineski's middle Nyx Assassin and safe lane Jug with an off lane Beastmaster. There was some very interesting play in that game, but G7, they played well, but I think a lot of it had to do with a lot of Mineski's mistakes in the early stages of the game. They missed out on 3 or 4 kills that they really shouldn't have, and unfortunately, it cost Mineski the game more than likely. With that, though, it is going to be G7 moving on, and, well, this draft is already taking quite a bit. It is no real surprise, but these teams are taking their time. It's going to be Witch Doctor to start things off for G7 after the Tidehunter is picked up as their first support. Earth Spirit and Doom is pretty interesting. There's a lot of silence potential here from Signature.Trust. The amount of team fight you get from an Earth Spirit, just the amount of general roaming and potential kills that you can get is outstanding. Earth Spirit kind of suffers from, I think, some early game level issues. If he can't get the experience, he has a kind of rough time. But for the most part, I think Earth Spirit is a very good spot currently. Probably needs to be maybe nerfed a little bit, but the hero is very strong, I think. Anywho,
10 seconds
a couple of quick bans: Lion and Queen of Pain for G7 side, and then that will be Medusa banned out by Sig.Trust, and understandably so after G7 played the Medusa, like I talked about in their game up against Mineski. And it was a pretty damn good Medusa by Che. It was something to behold. I enjoyed it. Very, very, very good free farm. And he transitioned that very effectively into a set of Phase Drum and a Yasha, which then he started to fight a little bit. And after that, the game got out of control. Next ban is going to be the Juggernaut. Just another good safe lane farming hero that is going to be taken out of the pool so that, well, G7 won't have it available for them. Jug, something they play a little bit. Not too often, but they play it every so often. There's been a couple of Lycan picks coming out from G7, a lot of push strats, but
Radiant
Furion is banned out. They've done a lot of this cool Pugna Furion Lycan push strat, and it's worked to some extent in some of their matches. In fact, if you look at their Dota buff, like the last 4 matches, they've had Pugna in 3 of them, and Lycan in 2 of them, and Furion in also 2 of them. So it's a little bit different now, though. They're probably going to have to go for some team fight as the Furion's banned out, the Lone Druid's banned out. So there is pushing potential here. But for G7 to transition into a push strat with this draft they have currently might be a bit bad. You could still theoretically go Beastmaster here for the offlane and then pick, say, I don't know, an Enigma, put him in the jungle. You could still get away with a Lycan. Instead, they're going to go for a completely different route. It is going to be a team fight lineup this time for G7. They're going to pick up the Invoker mid. Obviously, he does have some pushing potential with the Forged Spirits, but who knows what the hell will happen, because I certainly don't. These drafts have been kind of crazy. For Sig's side, it's going to be the Gyrocopter in the safe lane. That seems to be Lakel's here, I would imagine. They could throw it mid, but I'm not sure that's going to actually be the case. I don't think my pro is going to play it mid. And so Gyrocopter is going to be picked up by Sig Dota 2, and that's going to be a potent combo of damage coming out. You have an Earth Spirit jumping in, Rolling Boulder, Call Down on top of that, Doom to follow it up. But you have to wait and see how the Doom is going to be played. Since they picked the Gyrocopter, unless they put the Gyrocopter mid, the Doom is not going to be in the safe lane. In all likelihood, they could run him in the 4 position, and there's the TA for their mid pick. So what could be, we could be seeing a support for their last pick, or it could be a 4 position Doom. But with an Earth Spirit, that's unlikely to happen. That is almost pretty much impossible to happen. I imagine it's just going to be a hard 5 support for Signature to pick up here with their last pick, and then we'll see what they grab, or we'll see what G7 grabs, rather. So I think G7 banned a support. I just don't know which one. I think they need to ban a disabling hero. Any hero that is a disabled, I think is a fine ban for G7. However, for them, they need to pick their safe laner and another support as well. So we'll see what they decide to grab, and if they can deny anything against Sig.Trust. I would actually ban Lion here, I feel like, if you're Sig. In the next ban phase. I think Lion's a pretty good ban here. Or just anybody with any catch potential, really. Venge might be a better ban. It's either Venge or Lion, I think, perhaps. Because otherwise, Signature just don't have any lockdown, really. And they will go for the Lycan, so G7, surprisingly, they don't really have all of the heroes they want to make this pushing strat happen. But they pick up the Lycan regardless. So that's an interesting choice, but good because, again, there's not much lockdown for Sig.Trust. However, they have 2 silences to stop the Lycan from shapeshifting. The Doom is going to be very important against... First of all, dooming any of these heroes is fine. You could argue against the Witch Doctor, but dooming the Invoker, Lycan, or Tidehunter is something that they should probably prioritize. If you have to doom the Lycan, then the Invoker is going to get free reign, and the Tidehunter can get a Ravage off in almost any instance. The Chen will be the last ban to stop the push strat from progressing any further. I'd be surprised to see the Invoker go Quas Wex rather than instead of Quas Exhort, and picking up some Forged Spirits early on into the game. And it's Disruptor ban, which I think is fine.
Team pick.
I would have preferred more of a... obviously, Disruptor is pretty good against the team fight that G7 has, and maybe they stop Signature from getting a pretty damn good draft, but I don't know how I would have felt if they went for a Disruptor instead of somebody with a real disable. If they pick something here that doesn't have like a real disable, I'm going to be a little upset. I don't think they'll be able to deal with the Invoker and Lycan if they don't have some sort of disable here. You could argue Earth Spirit has that, but I just don't think it's enough. Maybe they get Doom and they pick up the Dark Troll Summoner and he gets an Ensnare. That's a little bit of a disable, but still. The last pick is going to come out from both sides. Not much reserve time on either side, really. 36 seconds for Sig.Trust. And G7, well, they don't have much room either. 11 seconds of reserve time. And both teams looking for their second support, which is really interesting. To see the second support not being picked up at this stage of the draft is really interesting to me. Unless the Doom, like I said, is played in the 4 position and Earth Spirit's a hard 5, but that just doesn't make sense. And I doubt they'll be the pick. So Sig.Trust are just really thinking about how they can best deal with the Lycan, with the Invoker, with the Tidehunter team fight. Rubik might be a good pick here up against the team fight that the G7 has, but it's going to be the Lena instead. Which, it's not a hard disable, but it's a disable nonetheless. And allows them to burst through a lot of these heroes very quickly. I feel like there are better options, but I don't know. I think Lycan can kind of go to work on Alina if she's not careful. Slardar, the last pick coming out from G7. A support Slardar, perhaps. Or the Tide being played in the support role. We'll wait and see. I'm down. It's time for some Dota, folks. I half want to believe that that's like a mispick, but amp damage is pretty damn good, and comboed up with a Lycan, it makes this game a whole lot easier and able to bring down Roche, bring down high armored heroes, which Gyrocopter and TA are sort of in that regard. And Doom's also pretty damn tanky, so some extra armor reduction is going to be nice to have. We're going to have a DC to start things off just to make sure that we can get this bad boy running smoothly. Holy crap, we're zoomed in very quickly. Lots of DCs, in fact. The Invoker as well as the Tidehunter gone from the game, but whatever. We're real zoomed in, guys. It's a little too close for comfort. Hopefully everything's going okay. And ooh, this is a cool set. It's like Raiden from Mortal Kombat. I really don't like this Slardar pick at all. It's a good disable. I just don't know how I feel about it. Alright, we're back into the game. G's called. We're ready to go. Let the action commence. SEA Dota, best Dota. The amount of team fight, the amount of sheer awesomeness that is SEA Dota sometimes surprises me. A lot of you may know me as the voice of NA, one of the NA casters, a region that I cover formidably and often. And there was a time that NA Dota rivaled a lot of SEA action. But since then, especially with EG coming into the fold and teams like Digital Chaos, it's been more about crisp, clean play and less about kind of run-at-you style, aggressive, interesting picks, weird maneuvers. SEA and CIS have both of those in that regard. And it's always a lot of fun to watch these teams play against each other. Each team with a different play style. G7, very aggressive team from what I understand and from what I've seen so far. This looks like an Abyssal Blade. Or, yeah, it actually does look like an Abyssal Blade. That's really cool. The Grasping Bludgeon. Might actually be an Abyssal Blade. Although, that's not really the best, you know. He doesn't really use that item. Still, I think it's kind of cool. We'll see. Probably no fights happening early on for the Rune. But they did rotate down bottom early enough here to get off this Observer Ward. I think they Rolling Boulder to... No, he actually didn't even Rolling Boulder. I'm pretty sure he was the one to get down there, though he TP'd down. Boombell's going to take a look at the top rune spot. He'll see that G7's going to be walking in. He'll say, I don't want any part of that. I'm going to head back towards top. And Boombell is going to be playing more than likely in a solo safe lane position. And an aggro tri-lane is looking to come out here, perhaps, from Sig.Trust. You can see the Gyrocopter's going to push and pull this creep wave back. He's going to body block it with the best of his abilities. And Lakel's, the man known for his farming ability. This is going to be interesting. If they could shut down Jay, then this game becomes very easy, I think, for G7. TA should have a pretty okay matchup here against the Invoker, but missed the first CS, which is a bit unfortunate. MyPro definitely a good hero, or a good player, excuse me. I expect a lot. It is going to be Show T playing the Slardar. They're going to start off with a Jungle Tidehunter. That's crazy. They bought an Iron Talon right off the get-go. And he gets up a set of tangos, and he just goes straight. That's a 4-position Tidehunter. That is not something you see every day. I was sure this was going to be support Slardar. I was sure of it. And I am just that wrong. Which is, you know, whatever. Oh, God, look at this. Jabs is like, yeah, this is a free kill if I can get a Rolling Boulder. I have an Orb of Venom. I guess with Anchor Smash, it's going to be hard for Jabs to actually bring him down, but still. He knows this is happening. He's aware of it. Jabs is like, ah, yes. He's licking his lips right now. And here he goes, rolling boulder in, and Wads is just dead. Anchor smash goes, and he might deny himself. He will. That could... I mean, the problem is that Jabs needed to avoid that anchor smash. With anchor smash, he literally dealt no damage, I'm pretty sure. But still, it stops Wads from farming. And this is going to be something they have to be very careful of. And I think they need to start deciding whether or not they need to switch things up, because that's just really, really bad. And Sig, they're going to rolling boulder looking for the courier, but Jabs gets blocked by the melee creep. He can't quite get in time. Jabs is just a half second away from making all of these plays, but it's just not quite there. Still being a nuisance. He'll pull the creep wave back towards their side, and Fei Mao will go ahead and help him along with that. Regen Rune's going to be held up for as Pony, and it's going to be probably taken by him. They don't really need it for the Invoker. Cold Snap's going to go. They'll rotate Champion to the top lane, so they've realized that this bottom lane is too difficult. Fei Mao's they're going to transition as well. They're going to try to play musical lanes. And Fei Mao might look for an initiation. They don't have Ensnare. If they had it, this might have been the kill for them. But Aspony has rotated up as well. No vision. Oh, they do have a ward here. This could be play. They have a sentry that Aspony could put down and just deny that ward if you'd want. But Lakel's still 15 last hits, and everybody really for for Sig is up to about 15 last hits. So the tide does go down early. He does have 7 last hits, and he's almost up to level 3. So it's not like this is that bad of a start. I mean, he did die, yes, but he didn't give any of the gold away to Sig.Trust, so it's not really first blood or anything. I don't know. I feel like this could actually turn out okay for G7 if they don't... This is the problem, though. Again, Jabs is going to look for Wads in almost every situation. He's just going to try to be as big of a nuisance as possible. In fact, I wouldn't mind seeing him ward up in the jungle and just put something down. Sentry was placed on the dire side. They knew that there was a Radiant Observer ward, and it was, I think, countered. I think it was over here along this area. I can't quite remember. Lakel's is going to go 1v1 up against the Slardar, and until he gets amp damage, I don't really see this being an issue. Slithering Crush misses. Lakel's is able to dodge that niftily and back away. My pro is 22 last hits to the Invoker's 14, so there is not really much happening. Look at this. That was interesting. Watch transitioning to almost level 4, and he'll get it. I think he's... his experience is pretty good. The Witch Doctor's, however, is not. He's still level 1. Remnant's going to be placed down. They've got vision. I think Shoti might have actually seen him by walking through this area. And it looks like it was nighttime, so probably not. Not a lot happening right now. Straight farming, 4 minutes into the game, and everything's going pretty well in Sig's favor. Shoti's going to sprint and maybe try to avoid jabs. He's got rolling boulder, but he's not going to use it. Obviously pretty difficult against a high move speed. Meanwhile, first blood happens somewhere. My pro found, I think... Oh my god, I can't believe I missed it. Waz died in the jungle. He actually died back here. I think he was trying to get back home, and there was a haste rune for my pro that allows him to find that kill easily, which I missed completely, but... Well, I'm sure it's fine. Cast top lane, Boom Bell in some trouble, but they can't quite bring him down. Scorched Earth, not enough mana. He had a salve. Also, Mengo to use it if he needed to get the Scorched Earth off, but... Jabs will find Shoti. He'll go ahead and clarity up as Lakel's continues to free farm with 36 last hits. He's denied 22 creeps. That is an extraordinary number of denies coming up from Lakel's. He's got phase now. The last hits get even easier. Top lane, it looks like Boom Bells is going to get right-click down. Che is up to only 14. So, since he's rotated up here, he's gotten a little room to breathe, but not much. Fei Mao had rotated back home. It looks like he's been spamming out some Dragon Slaves and whatnot. Wads is back in the jungle again. And guess who's here to spy on him? It's Jabs. Trying to leech as much experience as possible. He's doing a pretty damn good job of it. Rolling Boulder is going to get him out, but I don't really think he needed to get out. He probably could have stayed. I think he wants the Invis rune. He's going to leave it for somebody. He might have to take it as Shoti is nearby. Went for Tranquils. Pretty classic build this patch, or these past couple of patches anyways. And Jabs now with the end of his rune is looking for the tie, but he'll head to the hard camp to make sure he gets away. There's a side trap though, and Kenji realizing that they're off the map, they have to be careful. Observer ward placed down in the top lane. They'll back away and make sure they get out of a troublesome spot. And Kenji is just very far back. I think they might have seen Jabs. He might have been in tower range, true set range. I'm not sure though. Man, this is a heck of a game for the Kells right now. Doom comes out in top lane. Che's going to get caught. Do they have the damage? They might be able to deny him. They're healing him up with the Voodoo Restoration. Good boulder smash. Infernal Blade. That will get the kill with the last tick of the Doom. And as Coney's going to be next, it looks like the Dragon Slave gets the job done. LSA Show T gets silenced up as well. He's in trouble. Boom Bill going to work. They don't have the damage. Not yet, really, anyway. All of their spells on cooldown. No mana to really use them. They're waiting for the creep wave to come in, and it's a big one at that. And they're going to start to push here on this top tower. Show T will go ahead and amp damage up on Boom Bill and try to pull the creep wave back. But for now, they get 2 heroes in that top lane, and Che continues to fall behind even further in the CS and, well, net worth chart. The top 3 going Sig's way. Already this game looking very well and ahead for Sig. This is a game where G7 are hoping to push, and probably pretty early on as well, with the Lycan. Obviously, they have good team fight. It just feels like there's 2 conflicting strategies coming up from G7. They have team fight and they have push. They have a bit of both. So it just feels like they're not quite connecting with what they want. Tide is doing pretty well, all things considered. He's 2nd in net worth for G7, 5th overall. MyPro is up in top of the net worth with treads and probably building towards his first Mithril Hammer. Kenji's going to get scouted out by the side trap, and that means that TA is going to head down towards bottom, and he'll find a better rune for him, which is double damage, which could transition theoretically into a very early Roche with the help of a couple of other heroes, but I doubt that'll actually be the case. He's thinking about it, I think. Smoke of Deceit gank rotating into the jungle, and Che is maybe the one they'll be able to pick off, but instead they'll probably look for Wads. He's got level 6 now, so he's got Ravage. And he might be able to live through this. They have the Observer Ward down, they know exactly where he is. They'll head towards Che instead, and he is in a very bad spot. There's the Boulder Smash, they're going to get off the usage of the call down as well. Rocket Barrage and Che has no escape. I think they even have the Diffuse from the Satyr Banisher, which Lakel's had picked up with the Helm of the Dominator. There was no shapeshift, and even if he had it, I don't think he survives in that situation. So Fei Mao is the one to get credit for the kill. Top lane, however, Boom Bell might be in trouble. Amp damage is up, Sprint's coming through, the cask will come out, and it'll bounce to a couple of creeps. Slithering Crush will go, that physical damage is a lot. He has the Scorched Earth up, he's got the Doom ready to go, he needs some help. He won't die, the Doom will get turned around, and they'll actually put some damage onto him. Show T won't chase further, but now mid lane, pressure in as the Ghost Walk comes out as Kenji was getting dove. The double damage on the tier 1 tower going to work, and they will more than likely bring it down. There's no deny coming out. Close call for Kenji to get it, but it's not there. So a couple of weird kind of pressure situations for G7 that they don't die, but they get put in a bad spot. Midas recipe's done for the Invoker, so Hand of Midas, it'll be a little bit late. I guess you could say it's a little bit late, but not, all things considered, they're doing really the best they can. But the fact that they lose that tier 1 tower so early is really, really bad. But look at this. MyPro comes in, gets off a big Melt Strike with the double damage, gets up a side trap, good gush, but it will not save Waz's life. He'll die for a 3rd time. Not wanting to commit to the Ravage to save his life, he'll actually go down. Really good Melt Spot coming out for the TA. Just a cheeky play for MyPro to get the job done, and he'll pick up 1,800 gold. He might even just transition quickly into either an early Yasha or a Blink Dagger altogether. We'll see if it's going to be a mobility item, a damaging item, or if he goes straight for that Desolator. We'll see what he goes. Lakel's has his, I believe, nothing coming out, actually. It's a Belt of Strength, a Band of Elven Skin. The beginning is of an SNY. Kind of interesting that you go for those 2 particular items first, but I guess you min-max where you can.
Illusion.
And now top lane push is going to come through. Boom Bell, he's got the Alpha Wolf, and so the China Doom continues. The Crit Wolf. The amount of damage that you pump out now, 30% increased damage. At this stage of the game is an insane amount. To fight into this is pretty much to fight into certain death. However, G7 will get their own push going. They've realized that the time is here. The time is now. Che doesn't quite have his Vlads. He's not even 6 yet. But it'll start the push here mid with, of course, the top tier 1 tower falling. And it looks like Sig will mount a defense. They'll Dragon Slave up, clear out most of the creep wave, and that'll probably be the end of the push. Boom Bell, I think, was scouted. Maybe not. They don't have a ward up there on the high ground. And G7 pretty much forced to play as 4 here, have to back up and get away from that tower push. So there is really not much they can do. They are pretty damn far behind at this point. Almost, are you kidding? It's almost a 10,000 net worth advantage for Sig.Trust at 11 minutes. It's not quite there, but it's just about like 800 and 900 gold per minute at this point, which is an extraordinary amount, and it is the Blink Dagger from MyPro. Already back up to 1,000 gold after getting that early blink. Sure, he'll lack that damage that he would have gotten from a Desolator, but I don't think he gives a damn. I think he just wants to go and kill people as quickly as possible, and who doesn't? It's Dota, for goddamn sakes. Lakel's with 1,000 gold will build towards his Yasha first, I would imagine. I guess you can go Sanj if you want to build a bit more tanky. I think a lot of the times it is Sanj for a lot of people, but I don't know if he really needs to do that. We'll wait and see. But here's the roach that I was talking about. MyPro and crew will head in. Meld will go. It is level 4, and that will give more than enough armor reduction for them. Boombell might have to Scorched Earth here to keep his health up. The LSA will go, and they should take this. G7 will smoke and try to get there as quickly as possible, and they might make it in time. It's going to be close. LSA. They're going to get the Sages. They're too far. There's 3 heroes. They can fight this. It's 4v3. They're looking for an initiation. MyPro will blink out, and they can't quite find him. There's no blink initiation right now for G7. That's the biggest issue. They can't catch. They pretty much had to smoke and walk right into that pit in order to find a Ravage, and it's just unfortunate they weren't there in time. And now the smoke comes out from Sig, and they'll look for a hero, and Che is the target that they're going to head for. And they're probably going to find him as he heads to the Ancients. Oh, he backs away. He knows something's amiss. It is going to be the Sanj, by the way, for Lakel's. Boombell will find Che here, and Doom's about to come out. There it goes. LSA goes, the Dragon Slave, the Laguna Blade. That is more than enough damage. 2 ults committed, but it is worth it to deal with that Lycan to make sure he does not get any more farm than he already is. And that farm is not much. He's sitting below the support Lina at this point, who is going to have an Aether Lens within a couple hundred gold. This game is turning disastrous. Game 1, G7 yet to get a kill. It's 13 minutes in. It's only 6-0. But that is not indicative of how this game is actually going. This is what the game really looks like. 10,000 and more net worth going the way of Sig.Trust at 1343 with experience advantage of roughly 2,500 less. And G7 will take some time as Wads will actually have to disconnect. And oh, did I not change the... Okay, good. I was very, very scared for a second. Okay. Whew. I saw some T-Tors and I thought my overlay was screwed. But that is not the case. Thank God for that. Anyways. I honestly don't know what to say. This is such a vast lead that I've... You saw this last game in TNC versus... Who was it? TNC versus NND. You saw this type of lead, but it was a different lineup. TNC executed a push strat that was optimized to the highest extent and was able to absolutely dominate in the laning phase. And Sig has done a good job dominating the laning phase, but they don't have a push strat. They have early game team fight. They laned extraordinarily well. And it all really comes down to this jungle tide. I could see how it would be useful if they weren't aggro tri-laning and having Jabs just kind of being the babysitter and being aggressive as much as possible. And so really the best way for G7 to get back into this game is just to farm. But they don't farm as quickly. They have a Midas on the Invoker. The Lycan can't farm quite as fast as the Gyrocopter, who is continually applying pressure across the map. Boombell's nearby. There's the Shapeshift. They're going to get the Gush off. They get off the Scorched Earth, and we'll see if they can chase him down. They really need to find a kill here. LSA just misses the Dragon Slave, and Che is just too damn squishy at this point. They can't do anything. That Shapeshift does nothing for Che. The amount of damage or HP he has is 900. Armor-wise, he's got 8 because of the Basilius. But that's just... There is nothing they can do. And Desolator is about to be completed for MyPro. With Aegis in the bank as well, they'll probably commit to a pusher in the relative future. The classic Vit booster for Doom. Awesome. I like it. Good stuff, good stuff. And there's the Desolator. Trying to think of what he would go. I guess he can go... Yeah, he's going to go Crimson Guard, probably. I like the idea of him being the tanky frontliner. Getting a Crimson Guard this game is pretty good. It's pretty good. Ooh, the Wolves. They're going to die. They were about to get that Courier, though. And there's that Aether Lens that I was talking about for Faye. For Faye Mao. Here we go. Sig are going to push in. And I don't really see any reason for them to wait any longer. The SNY, maybe that's the reason. You wait for that SNY, and he has more than enough for it. Get the SNY and go for a fight. Luckily, G7 has gotten a couple of items. The Blink Initiation is now there from the Slaughdar, and they also have the mech for the Tide, which is something that Sig won't have this game. They won't have a mech. I don't think any of these heroes get it. Boombell, he went for phase, so Arcanes would have been needed for them to go for the mech build, but that's not going to be it. Also, really good smoke coming out from both teams, but they're probably going to avoid each other here. We'll see up on the high ground. MyPro is pretty close by, but even if he dies, he has the Aegis. They can all run to his aid pretty damn quickly. They're going to head to the enemy jungle, it looks like, and G7 are going to be a little bit out of luck. Maybe not. They might see MyPro here mid, and they might go for an initiation. Again, he has the Aegis. This is a bait, though. Sig.Trust are getting ready to fight. Kenji's going to come in. The Forge Spirits will go, trying to take off the refraction so that it can actually do damage. Melt Strike will blow both of those away. And they're really being patient about this one, both teams. MyPro about to lose his refraction. He has to back up now. And Shoti not going in just yet. The Wolves will scout first. This tier 2 tower close to death, but not quite. MyPro's about to pop up the refraction, and yeah, that's the unfortunate thing is they waited too long. The refraction was there. No damage is actually done. And now it looks like they're the ones going to get initiated on. Boombill will come. The Doom comes out and wads the Trumpet of Death Ward. The Dragon Slave. Good Laguna Blade. Boombill is low. He'll actually fall. It looks like with the last right click, but still they've lost 2. Shoti has to back up, and they take the tower with it. On the other side, Asponi getting fame out with Che, but they've got to leave, and Asponi will be the martyr for the cause. Luckily, Che has gotten his shapeshift off. He's got a TP. He's going to have to use it soon. And the homing missile, not quite there. They need the boulder smash. They won't get it. It was so close. Jabs with a great effort, but can't quite find the stun to lock him down for them to get that kill. Overall, that's not a bad... That's not a terrible fight, all things considered. They get a kill for Che, but it's just too much going the way of Sig.Trust. They lose an offlaner and a support. And MyPro and the Gyrocopter for Lakells continue to be involved in this game. He's now already back up to 2,000 with his SNY, Phase, and Helm of the Dom. He could go straight for a BKB, he could go for another damage item, he could go for whatever he wants, really, and he could be fine. Lakells is having the game of his life, and it's surprising to me that he's actually not ahead of MyPro, but all things considered, they both had great farm. Their GPM's roughly the same. Jump in, Slithering Crush, they get the bash off. Good Alisand was Laguna Blade, Shoti in trouble. The Melt Strike goes, they get the kill! No Aegis available. That is a killing spree and a lot of gold going the way of the Lycan. He is the one to get the last hit. It is 500 picked up, 1,600 just for the one kill. And the Laguna Blade was expended. They couldn't even get the kill onto Shoti with Sprint up and active. MyPro makes a big error getting caught in a bad spot. How much will that affect this game? Probably not that much, I don't think, but still, it is a kill. That is really necessary. That'll probably allow them to transition into getting this tier 1. Ravage is still available. Mech's down for 30. They could really use a blink for him, honestly, but... Boulder Smash comes in. Slithering Crush. There's going to be the stun. Misses up. Gyrocopter will throw up the call down and push them back and clear out that creep wave, but they get the denial beautifully by Lakells after timing up the glyph perfectly. And that is going to be his BKB here within 1,000 gold. Even when G7 get an advantage, when they kill the TA, they can't find the trade they're looking for to get the actual tier 1 tower. Necro's going to be the choice for Che, and I don't... That's not that shocking. It might be his only option at this point, just to rat as best as possible. This was a cool exchange that I think we just saw. So what happened was, a couple heroes walked through here trying to gank up onto the Lycan. But they backed up as soon as they saw them walking through this direction. And because of that, G7 knows that the ward's placed there, so they deny it really quickly. So just good ward placement, good counter wards. Nothing too crazy, but Ooh, Vale coming out for Earth Spirit. Vale this game for his team, with the exception of the TA, is really nice. It's really good. Here we go. MyPro might get caught. Jump in. There's going to be the crush. He's on fraction. They've got Doom. Ravage goes. And they'll get the Death Ward. They destroy him instantly. Boom Bell's going to be next, it looks like. Cauda's going to come through, though, and they might have to back off right now as the damage. Watts is getting doomed up. Rock across. Che will make his way out. Magnetize doing some serious work. It's going to be 3 dead, it looks like, for the side of G7. Was looking like a great fight, but still, the Gyrocopter and the Earth Spirit go to town onto G7. Feymal comes up a little bit late, but still, another fight. The gold exchange is in favor of G7 because they get a couple of big targets. And they get a little bit more experience as well, but it's not a trade they would have liked. They could have gotten that one, or those 2 kills and gotten out, but they, I think, initiated a little too much. If G7 come back from this game, it'll be one of the most impressive comebacks I've ever seen. I just want to throw that out there. For how far this game was beyond them, and for how far ahead this Gyrocopter is in comparison to everybody else in this game, it would be a nuts accomplishment. I think Lycan and Slaughter against a Gyro is pretty good. I think the fact that amp damage is really good against BKB is nice. It's not like Medallion, which used to go through BKB. Doesn't anymore. Amplified damage, of course, being an ultimate still does. As Pony gets 2-shot by MyPro as he was trying to, I think, D-ward. They dropped the sentry down and... well, they are way far out. G7 need to leave now. They have no idea where everyone is. Everyone is getting wrapped on. Kenji has to TP, but he doesn't have it. Ghostwalk might be his best option. He sees heroes running by. He is going to use it. Do they have detection? They silence him up, but I think he can get away. Jump in, Slithering Crush. They'll drop up the Crimson Guard. Shoti was looking to go in. Boom Bell has the Doom up and ready in 3 seconds. He probably would have used it there had he had it. But they will get the tier 2 in the process. A momentary lapse of play comes out from Sig.Trust losing a couple heroes mid, but now they'll take the tier 2 tower top, TP back mid, clear out this creep wave, and head for Roche more than likely next. Lakells continues to farm like a god. 1,800 gold with the BKB helm, SNY. Yules has been picked up, coming out for the Invoker. And that's really all he's got. He picked up the drum. He's going to probably save for bots at some point. He's had regular boots for the entirety of the game. Sunstrike to get vision of Roche. They'll see that Roche is up. This is a tough fight for them to take. They have Ravage, obviously. A lot of good side traps placed down. You can see a couple here. Just giving them vision. This one, I think they walked over. And so Sig will know that they're in the jungle. At least one of them. And if they had a smoke, they could probably go for this. I don't think they do. It's on cooldown for a little while. I don't think anyone has it. Yeah, they don't have the smoke. So that's the unfortunate thing about this. For all of those smokes that Sig used, they can't get in. They pretty much just have to run at G7 in order to find an initiation at this point. They could just run here, though. Feymal baiting out. G7 looking like they want to commit, but instead they're going to just clear out this creep wave. And Roche continues to be the target for both teams. Here we go. So they're in Crush. Feymal in trouble. They're going to go in. Laguna Blade comes out. Doom's onto Kenji. He's going to get pulled forward. The Force Staff the wrong way and not where he wants to be. And as Pony will be next as well. Watts is going to TP out. He'll make it away. Shoti is going to have to blink this homing missile. It's got eyes for him and him alone, and he should be able to make it out, but still, that is a 2-for-0 trade. They doomed up Kenji, they destroyed him with Laguna Blade, and he got obliterated. And it is going to be Roche now. It was a good effort going on Feymal. They had some decent damage, but it was a bait coming out from Sig. To take that initiation underneath the tier 1 tower is really aggressive. They pretty much had to make that fight happen. They were really struggling. They needed something. You can understand why they made the play, but that's way too aggressive. MyPro with that Aegis will now be able to get up to his BKB. He's been stifled a little bit after dying twice in a row. But with that last engagement in a row, she'll be able to get to the BKB within about 200 gold. But the push will continue top as Boombell is going to get scouted out. Show T is going to look for the kill probably. But if they go for this fight, there's going to be some TPs in. And that's the biggest concern. There's already a couple of people walking up. They know that Boombell is there, or at least they should. Oh, they don't see him. He's going to walk out now. They're going to maybe go for this famed house nearby as well. They drop the sentry, jump in, Slithering Crush. They get the kill on the tower. There's going to be the Sunstrike hitting up as well. They need to back up the call down. Good Eul Scepter, but the Ravage jumps in with the Blink Dagger. This might be the fight they're looking for. The Death Ward going to work. FameL will fall second, but still, G7 have to escape. Jabs is going to go up the Boulder Smash. Pops up the Magnetize. It's a lot of damage. They have the Veil still up, but Jabs will fall in the end. No, My Pro comes back in. They can't get the kill on Jabs. It's a triple kill for the TA. Too much damage, and G7, they are too hungry, and again, they'll lose 3 heroes in an exchange that should have just been a 2-for-1, maybe at the worst. But it turns into a 2-for-3. And My Pro continues to be the bane of their existence, along with the Gyrocopter. And Lakel's is like, yeah, I'm building Butterfly next. Try me. Mass TP's mid from Sig. We'll see if they just push down mid. Oh, My Pro has found a juicy target. The 2-hit, the 2-shot coming out on Kenji. Meld, right-click, dead. That is how you know you are far ahead. If your Invoker dies literally in 2 hits to a TA that you were up against mid, you are down twice the net worth. And they're even going to find Jabs as well. But here comes My Pro. They need to get this kill, and they need to do it quickly. The Death Ward will go. They get the amp damage. He pops the BKB. Pretty good BKB usage if they can get out, but FameL finds a Eul's target, and the LSA will go. He actually misses the Laguna. The sprint does a lot of damage from the Laguna Blade, amping it up, but it's not enough to bring him down. That was very close. BKB forced out for the TA, still has the Aegis, and they might have to wait for another 60 seconds along with Jabs respawning. They'll probably push bottom and get this final outer tower, but G7 are still holding on barely at this point. If they had, here's the thing, if they had Che up with the net worth that either My Pro or Lakelis had, they would be in a winnable position, I think, but he is roughly around the same net worth that is the Doom. And Doom's looking like, I don't know, Shiva's AC, Lotus Orb. Take your pick, really. Wouldn't be surprised to see she was here. Well, they know there's a sentry here now. At the very least.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Jab's going for Show T to silence the Magnetize. He's getting very aggressive, even with the Veil. I think that's too much. Show T will just TP out smartly. Did a lot of damage, though. I think it's level 2 Magnetize. Yeah, it is. And like I was talking about, here comes the push. My Pro will take the tower easily with his Desolator. BKB in tow, 3,900 gold in the bank. And Lakel's, I think he's probably finished up. Oh, he went Scotty. I don't know. With the amount of physical damage, I thought Butterfly might have been the choice, but clearly he seems to think otherwise. My Pro's going to get jumped on. The Gush will go, but he's got Refraction up. There's the Cold Snap. He's going to get caught here at a bad spot. He can't blink out. He's got the Aegis. He can BKB. He clearly doesn't want to use it yet. Amp damage will be refreshed this time onto Boombell. There's the Scotty now completed, and Lakel's is ready to go. The amount of HP he has is absurd at this point. Jump in, Slithering Crush, but the instant Eul is now into Slardar. The cooldown's going to go. Show T's going to get obliterated. Dead for 53. He's got buyback. Lakel's will pop the BKB. They're waiting for the Ravage, but Waz is going to get doomed up now, and My Pro's going to look for more. He wants this kill. Force out. He'll stay alive. Cask will go. Che looking for My Pro. This will be the Aegis, but he pops up a fraction of time. They'll have to back up now. Sig going a little too deep at this point. Doom's still up for a couple of seconds. He's going to be able to TP in and look for Blink Ravage, but G7 are not going to be able to chase him that much further as Sig are already backing away together. Good Glimmer Cape on to Show T. They'll lose the Slaughter. He'll have to buy back, but they'll keep their rack safe and they'll expend the Aegis as well. So G7's high ground defense is pretty potent. That's the problem of fighting into a Ravage. And that's why you see the Doom being used on the Tidehunter in almost every situation. So without that up, and without the Aegis, they clearly don't want to find a fight at all. Is this a smoke? It is. Side trap placed down. Shoti is going to be the one to move up. And there it is. Jabs is going to blink out Rolling Boulder away. Shoti's a little late to the draw, and he can't find the initiation he's looking for. He'll sprint out, and they have vision. They could side trap. They clearly want to shoot. What a boulder smash! The silence comes down into 3. The magnetize, a great start. And they're looking for a cast. They'll find it. Wad still has the Ravage. He might have to use it here, but Lakelz is on the hunt. The Glimmer Cape will go. Lakelz will turn target. Shoti was the next option. Kenji, they've got no vision. That homing missile damage is absurd. He'll barely live at this point. But it's a miracle that G7 get out alive. At all. And they can actually turn this. If Kenji was here and had HP, they could turn this. And it looks like they want to. Wads is looking for a Ravage. The Shapeshift will go. They'll find Lakelz. They'll find a double stun. Blink Ravage. Sunstrike. Lena's dead first. Lakelz. Death Ward comes out. And he is going to fall as well. 76 seconds on the sideline. The Rolling Boulder up to the high ground. They know that he's there. Blinks up. He blinks away. Force for Shoti's available, but they can't quite find it. What a turn coming out from G7. Wads and Slardar. Absolutely outstanding. And Gyrocopter dead for 56. He just bought that Scotty. They thought they had no... There was no chance for them to go down and lose any real building. Even if he died, they thought they'd be okay. But they took a fight on their side of the river and they lost. And now it's up to MyPro and a couple of others. They'll drop the Veil. Jabs is going to come in. He'll drop up the Veil, but Boombell, he's got Doom ready. The Glyph will go. The Tier 3 tower getting assaulted. MyPro will jump in. Jump in, Slithering Crush from Shoti. Force out. Doom will go on to Kenji. Ghost walk away in time. Magnetize goes. Che will be in trouble. He'll be the first to fall. BKB pop from MyPro. They'll defend without Lakelz, and as Pony will be next. MyPro will get that second kill. The Yule's up actually stops him from dying, but only for a moment longer as MyPro will pick up a double. That's just the problem. They have no survivability with Che. He has the Necro 3, but he doesn't have that BKB yet. And MyPro does nearly more than enough damage for his team to find themselves some kills. So it was a smart play. It was great they killed Lakelz, but it's just not nearly enough. And now with him dead for 26 seconds, this might actually be Rax. It's going to be pretty close. Kenji is... He has no TP scroll. Kenji has no TP scroll. That's really unfortunate. He's going to have... What did he... He sold something? He sold his boots? He had to sell his boots. He had to sell his boots to get back home. The Invoker just sold his boots to get back to the base. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong about that, but... Yeah, I'm pretty sure he just bought another set. Cask on a Boombell. Doesn't have Doom. Rax exposed. There's the Yule's up. Yule's now onto the Slaughter, who was about to jump in. Faye now is ready. The Laguna Blade. Shoti in trouble. Good Glimmer Cape. They've got vision with the Central War placed down. He'll force himself away. Ravage not available for 6. Lakelz and Watpro going to BKB. Good Death Ward's going to get silenced up by, of course, Jabs, as Pony's going to take a couple of hits to magnetize. Good Boulder Smash. Will get the kill. They'll lose 2. They'll have to actually buy back onto Pony as well. 3 dead across the map. That'll turn into 2 with a buyback. The Rack's now dead, and Sig will continue to push in. And looks like they are trying to finish this game off as quickly as humanly possible. Lakelz back up to 1600 gold. Needs 18 for buyback. He gets literally 2 last hits, and he'll be there. So any threat of dying is not that big of an issue. The Blink's now done for Feymal. His Yule Scepters have been on point. He'll find Slaughter again. LSA will go and Shoti. Veil's up. The cast will fly. It'll bounce up to MyPro more than likely. Gush is in. They've got Ravage ready to go. They didn't use it. Slithering Crush. Jabs is going to get caught. Anchor Smash. Do they have Doom? The Ravage will come. They'll lose Pony. The dieback will come out, but they just don't have the damage at this point. The Doom will go on to Shoti, and Wasp will get brought down by the Rocket Barrage. The call down will zone them all out effectively enough and heading them in towards the Tier 3 tower. And inevitably the victory at this point. With Che respawning in 8 seconds, they just don't have enough left in the tank. And G7 have put a formidable fight up, but Sig.Trust have taken this first game is what it looks like. There's just nothing left for them at this point. Shoti has one last Slithering Crush, and that's just about it. Yules actually goes onto a creep. Misses. Deafening Blast is going to get blocked by the BKB. Shoti, he's going to get chased down the side trap, and he gets crit instantly, getting brought. The sprint amp damage doing more than enough with the help of a Desolator and Daedalus proc. LSA will miss onto Kenji, but he's going to save himself with a Yule Scepter for the moment, for the time being. Last right click will get the job done. The Rocket Barrage, the call down is more than enough to do the job, and that is GG. Well played. 35 minutes, maybe a bit longer than Sig would have liked to make this game, but still, It is a stylish result nonetheless. Some damn good plays, and really a draft that I think was over eager, perhaps. Maybe a bit too much, I think. G7 kind of got ahead of themselves with the support Tidehunter. Don't get me wrong, it worked out later on in the game, but because they had a support Tide, their dual lane bottom was weak, and they were subjected to some severe punishment coming out from the aggressive trial lane that was Sig.Trust. And Lakel's and MyPro farmed like gods. MyPro, the one that gets all the credit, 17-2-5. Lakel's 5-1-12. Some damn good play from them. And we'll wait and see how this series ends up. That is just game number 1. This is a best of 3, and we'll be back with game number 2 momentarily. Of course, this is moonducktv bringing you the SEA Kappa Invitationals. My name is Walt. We'll see you guys in just a moment.